You good for nothing child, if you don't do what I ask you to do, I don't want to ever set my eyes on you or see you in this house again. Awele was the first daughter of her mother. There are 5 in their family. Her father was a village drunk who cared less about them because they were all girls. Her mother was a store owner who sold basic household things to keep the family running. Awele's mother had met a wealthy old man who came to buy things from her shop earlier when he saw Awele and couldn't resist her beauty and her body. She told Awele's mother that he was willing to pay her a huge sum of money to spend the night with Awele. Awele's mother's greed and love for money agreed to the man's proposal. She pressured her to give in to the man's atrocious proposal. Unknown to Awele, the man in question was Chief Ejiro, who was known as a womanizer, and rumor had it that her mother was one of his concubines. Awele refused that she rather die than allow an old man to take advantage of her. She was willing to lose everything she had to protect herself and her dignity. After they closed from the market that evening, Awele carried the basket and headed home with her mother. But when they got to their compound, her mother took the basket from her and asked her to go and meet Chief Ejiro or leave her house. Awele shouted over her dead body as she walked away. Her mother entered her hut without any regret about her actions or Awele's safety that night. Awele went to her friend's house, Isioma, and told her she needed a place to sleep, as her mother had asked her to leave the house or sleep with Chief Ejiro. Chief Ejiro has been known throughout the village for his love for women, both married and single. Rumor had it that he was the one who gave Awele's mother money for her business when they were together. Isioma's mother eavesdropped on their conversation. She came out to tell Awele she couldn't allow her to spend the night in their home because of her mother. She was known for being quarrelsome. Isioma's mother gave her some food and she left. Awele went to the village square, lay down and slept off. A few hours later, she felt a tap on her body. She woke up and saw a strange man standing in front of her. Young woman, why are you sleeping outside by this time of the night? Don't you know it is not safe here? Well, I had no choice. Do you think I don't know how dangerous it is? My mother asked me to sacrifice myself to an old man or leave her house. Now you know the choice I made. Well, come with me. You can sleep in my friend's shop while I keep watch. I don't trust you. Please leave me alone, Awele yelled at him as she lay on the floor. In the morning, Awele was surprised to see the young man sitting beside her. He never left. He introduced himself as Afam. He told her he came from another village to buy goods for his business. Awele explained all that transpired between her and her mother to Afam. He didn't believe her. He didn't believe a mother could treat her child with such wickedness. He accompanied Awele to see her mother. Immediately, she set her eyes on Awele. She didn't consider who she was with or where she spent the night. She shouted, "You good for nothing, useless child. If you don't do what I asked you to do, I don't want to ever set my eyes on you or see you in this house again." Awele hid behind Afam. She knew her mother's next action, which Afam was unaware of till her mother's footwear landed on his head. Afam placed his hand on his head as he went towards Awele's mother to plead with her to allow her back to the house. But she went inside and brought a machete. Awele and Afam ran away before she could get close to them. Afam told Awele she could come with him. Awele agreed and followed Afam home. Afam was very accommodating. She bought things for Awele to make her comfortable as she came with nothing. With the little he had, Afam was willing to help Awele. Awele reciprocated by helping around the house. A few months later, Afam told Awele he would like to marry her. Awele agreed. Afam went to Awele's mother, asked for her blessings, and paid the price. Despite her behavior towards him, especially towards Awele, Awele and Afam were happy and in love with each other. Afam invested so much in his business and it was flourishing. He made sure Awele never lacked anything. Awele also sent money to her mom and her siblings, who were constantly asking for money. 2 years later, Awele gave birth to a baby boy. Afam was filled with so much joy. He threw a big feast, inviting all the villagers and friends in celebration of Awele and their son Obinaya. The whole village was happy and they celebrated with them. Awele's mother was also invited. She was surprised to see how Awele and Afam were living happily. She told Awele that Afam was spending money and throwing a big feast when their house in the village is about to collapse on them. Awele promised her that she will ask Afam for help in renovating their house. A few months later, Afam became ill with an unknown illness. Some believed he was poisoned, but the big question was unknown to them. By whom? All the healers gave some herb, but still Afam didn't get better. Awele managed his business till everything they had was gone while they were looking for a cure. All their money and savings were gone too. They sold all they had. Afam was still ill. Awele's mother came to their house and discovered that Afam had been sick for months. She told Awele to pack her things and leave. She advised her to look for another man as she was still young and in shape. She added by saying that Afam had become a vegetable and she is better off without him. Men are not worth the stress. You can take a look at your father and how he had abandoned us. If not that I stepped up in this family, what would have become of you and your siblings? Her mother asked her. Awele asked her mother for help, but she refused, despite Afam's condition and how he has been generous to them. Awele knew her mother would never help her, but she had to try. After her mother left, Awele kept thinking about what she said. She knew her mother never liked Afam, but she knew within her that she was fed up taking care of Afam and she had no money. Afam told her that all would be well. He pleaded with her not to give up on them and their love for each other. One evening, Awele was on her way to the market when a handsome, well-looking man walked up to her and introduced himself as Shola. He told Awele he came to visit a friend. He flattered Awele, and Awele was so happy to hear such words from the young man. Awele felt young again, remembering all the flattering words Shola used on her the other day. She was tempted to give in to a thought. Afam knew something wasn't right with Awele. She never came into his heart, and he always sent Nne, who was Afam's sister and his only family member, to bring his food and herbs for him. Awele packed her things, went into Afam's room, and told him she couldn't continue like this. She had decided to leave him and his son. Obinaya held Awele and begged her not to leave him and his father. Awele told him her mind was made up, that she was better off without them. Afam begged Awele not to leave. He reminded her how he was there for her when her mother asked her to leave her house. Awele told him he would have left her on the street to die rather than bring her here to suffer. Awele carried her bag and left. Nne told her brother to forget about Awele and concentrate on himself and getting better. Awele immediately moved in with Shola. Shola renovated her mother's house, gave her money to buy more goods and stock up her shop. Awele's mother was happy. She told her daughter she had never made her proud in her life until now. The only thing about Shola that is known to Awele was that he travels to a faraway town to buy grains, which he supplies to traders in Afam's village and other neighboring villages where they met. Shola would spend weeks, sometimes months on his travels, but he made sure Awele had all she needed and more. Back in Afam's village, words got to him that there was a healer from overseas who can cure any illness. They borrowed money and took Afam to the healer. They traveled for days before they got to the village. The healer gave Afam some medicine, just like magic. He was well again. Obinaya was happy to see his father strong on his feet again. Afam thanked her sister Nne for not giving up on him the way Awele did. Awele had forgotten about Afam and their son. She had all she could dream of and more. Her mother and her sisters lacked nothing, and their lives changed for good. One afternoon, Shola got home. Awele was on her way as she was in the market making her hair. She saw Shola when she got back from the market. She ran towards her, but Shola pushed her and gave her a big slap. He told her he had been home for some time and she was nowhere to be found. Awele, who nearly lost her sight from the slap, tried to explain her whereabouts, which made Shola angry as he kicked her and pounced on her on the floor for talking back at him. From that day, Shola became a beast who beat Awele for no reason. Awele tried talking to her mother about Shola, but she told her to be patient, that he would change. Afam started from nothing, built back his business. He bought all the things he sold when he was sick. After a few months, Shola beats Awele at every little provocation. He sleeps with different women during his travel and even in their village. All of a sudden, Awele wasn't the center of attention again. He brought back another young beautiful girl home and introduced her to Awele as his new wife. Awele became a slave in her home. She cooked and served her husband and his new wife. If she refused to do what Shola said, he would beat her mercilessly. Awele heard about Afam's success and recovery. She decided she would go and beg him for forgiveness and plead with him to accept her back. When she got to his shop, she met Afam, Nne, and Obinaya. She knelt and begged Afam for forgiveness. Afam told her he had forgiven her the moment he left them, but he couldn't accept someone else's wife into his life again. Awele reached out to Obinna. He ran away to Nne and told Awele that Nne was his mother and not her. Awele went home in tears that afternoon. Upon entering their compound, he saw Shola standing outside waiting for her. She knew there was trouble and he would beat her up as usual for not preparing their meals. She took to her heels. She went to her mother's shop and told her she was fed up with Shola and she's not going back to Shola's house. She told her mother how Afam rejected her after she went to plead for his forgiveness. Her mother laughed at her. "You useless girl, when will you learn? You think I will allow you in my house? You had everything handed to you without any struggles, yet you misused them. Who do you think poisoned Afam? It was me. You threw away gold and went after a pebble." Her mother asked her to leave her shop, as she never wanted to set her eyes on her again. Awele couldn't comprehend how a mother could bore such hatred for her daughter. She kept roaming on those streets in the village till she finally ended up as Chief Ejiro's seventh wife. She regretted all her actions and hated her mother for misleading her. She never got over Afam's sincere love for her, and she still had nightmares of Shola's beating. Afam never got married again. He decided to train his son and pour all his love on him. Nne, now married, always take care of Afam and Ubinnaya. Afam heard of Awele's marriage to Chief Ejiro. He couldn't believe it. He concluded that some people are not worth saving. They are like dogs. They will always eat poop, no matter what you feed them with. Thanks for watching. Kindly share your thoughts about the story and let us know what you think of this story in the comment section. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, kindly show us love by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you.